Hello, everybody, and welcome to Zingzitela Wena. Today, our topic is African fine art, and as usual, with me is Mr. Arnold Ngala. Mr. Ngala, hello, and welcome back to Zingzitela Wena.
Hello, and thank you so much for inviting me as usual. I feel
You're
at home
welcome. Yes,
when I'm at Venezuela. Yes,
yes. We're talking about
yes,
African fine art today.
yes. Today we are talking about fine art, African fine art. Actually, there is no such term as African fine art, but we thought maybe that is the best term that we can use in order
Okay,
to portray in order to name what we are trying to talk about today.
to talk about. Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
because art is a very broad term and it includes many artistic genres, right?
Okay,
So, so fine art is more of a Western concept. Yeah, it's a Western
yeah,
concept, if I can say that. And
okay,
the reason why um, I think maybe we named our topic fine art is because what we were talking about today also includes visual art.
okay,
Visual art, yes.
all right.
So yes, that yes. So as I said that art is a very broad term. So we're not going to talk about everything about art, but mostly about visual art. Yeah, and what is also termed as folk art. Folk is FOLK, folk art.
Okay.
So folk art, what they mean by folk art is some art that has to do with culture and an
Okay.
art, a certain art which is attached to a certain traditional group or society. Yes. So that
Okay.
is what we are going to be, yes, talking about. And we have already spoken about we've already spoken about some of the genres which are part of fine art or African fine art, like
Okay.
African music. I
Yes.
believe that
That's
that is
art
part of
as
fine art.
well. Yes. Okay.
So because of that, we are not going to include everything which is part of fine art. We are going to pick some of the things maybe we haven't touched
Okay.
on our our podcast. Yes,
Okay.
yes. So yes. Yeah. Oh,
Please
can
go
I
ahead.
continue?
Yes, you can continue.
Okay. All right. So actually many people love African material art, if you can call that. They love that due to its beauty
Mm.
um, and creativity and the uniqueness. But okay, that is actually okay because African art is beautiful and it is okay to appreciate it through the eyes of beauty. But people must know that African art is not only about beauty and decorations. You see,
Mm.
there are also other cultural aspects that must also be considered. You see, um, that may include other cultural aspects may include the sensitivity of that art and the sacredness of that art
Okay.
because some of those arts they are in the realm of sacredness. Yes.
Okay.
So
When I was talking to my
yes,
daughter about Africa and fine art, she said to me, there isn't much art associated with Africa because Africans generally design things for functionality, not to display or
yes.
look at. So things like
I didn't hear that.
become, yeah.
I didn't get that. What did you say? Sorry, I did.
She said Africans usually designed before or
Yes.
currently design things for functional purposes, not so much as
Yes.
to display or look at.
Yes. That is very, very true. And that is one thing that, especially people who are not Africans or who are not born in Africa, they must really know that. Yes.
Okay.
The idea is not beauty. The idea is what makes that thing relevant is that it must be used, or should I say its use must be
Okay.
relevant at that time. Yes. So
Okay.
Africans, so when Africans make clay pots, they don't make them for decoration. But today you will find people buying clay pots for
To
decoration.
decorations,
And then
yes. Yeah.
they will be using metal pots to cook. But it's very funny to me because um, like metal pot, like let's say for example, we have got pots that um aluminium, right?
Yeah.
Aluminium. So now when you are cooking that kind of pot, there is a chemical reaction which takes place whereby
Yes.
you when you eat that food, you're also going to consume aluminium, right? Are
Yeah.
we together there?
Yeah.
So now the problem is aluminum does not do anything in the body. And then
Uh,
you ask yourself, why do we have to use aluminum to cook? And then why do we have to put a clay pot in the in the display there? And then we are using aluminum to cook, but we don't need aluminum. And
yeah.
those are some of the things that may cause that may maybe cause uh, cancer. You see,
Mm.
so yes, through that, I am just trying to support the the the
That
the, the,
that's
the
that
yes,
perception.
what you just said. Yes, in Africa,
Yeah.
if you see a beautiful clay pot, it is beautiful, but the main reason is for it to cook without causing any diseases. You see,
Or for
so the more
collecting water.
yeah, so the more people
Yeah.
get to understand this, the more they'll start to appreciate African art, not only its beauty. You see, because now you will see someone living an, an African material and then taking something that is going to cause diseases for him or her. Yes,
Okay. All right.
yes. So luckily, most African um, like materials, they are also beautiful.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. And this is very important because this is very important for people to know because this is what also causes what is being termed as cultural appropriation. You see,
Yeah.
cultural appropriation is from that people do not understand African art materials. So I believe you know what cultural appropriation is, right?
Yes. Some
Yes,
taking
yes.
something without consent from that community. Using.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Mm.
And in most cases, you are going to realize this thing is usually done on Africans or other people who are considered to be, is it part of the third world or people who are
Yeah.
minorities? Yes, yes.
Yeah.
It is because of that.
Marginalized
Yes.
communities.
Thank you for that. I was looking for it.
Yeah.
I think that one. Yeah. Yes. So while we talk about African art and fine African fine art and folk art,
Mhm.
I want our viewers and our listeners to always keep in mind um, that African art is not only about decoration and beauty. They must always know that. Yeah. So
Mm.
that when they also want to apply it, or even if they want to incorporate it into something new, they must always take that in mind.
Into
Yes.
account. Yeah. Okay.
They must always yes. So I, I collected about so I in my presentation for the sake for the sake of a next presentation, I did about 7 categories, if I can put it that way, to
Okay.
talk about. I can even call genres, if I can call that.
Okay.
So 7 genres, yeah, African arts. Rather,
Okay.
I'm putting it in the correct term. Yes.
No,
So
that's
the
what we're
first
going to
one,
use.
that's what you're going to use. Yes,
Yes.
yes. So the first one is um, hieroglyphs. If I can put that way,
Okay.
hieroglyphs.
Mm-hmm.
So hieroglyphs, I can say it was a writing system which was invented by ancient Egyptians.
Okay.
And I believe in you still remember we said ancient Egypt was called Kemet.
Yes.
So it was a style of writing which started in Kemet. You see, so the oldest hieroglyphic inscriptions they date as far back as before 3100 BC, or should I say 3100 BCE, if I can put that. So it was at the very onset of the pharaonic civilization, you see. And the last hieroglyphic inscriptions, they were written around 5th century AD, or should I say 5th century CE, if I can put that way, yes. So this writing system was presented in, I can say, in pictures. So if you look at it, okay. So people who are going to view our people who are going to watch our podcast on YouTube, so they are going to see some of the images of what we are talking about. Yes, but
Okay.
I'll also do my best. I'll also do my best so that people who are going to listen to applications like Spotify can also understand what I'm trying to say. But I will
Okay.
advise many people to also go to our YouTube channel to understand, so that they can see some of the pictures of what we are
Okay.
talking about. It's
We'll
a bit
put some
easier to
links.
understand.
Okay.
Yes, it's easier to understand the hieroglyphs when you are seeing them. So they are in pictures, if I can put that, or
Okay.
should I say in images.
Okay.
And they are so complicated. For example, if I can give you an example, you see the letter M. Do you see what we refer as the letter M, right? Is it Roman letters? I don't know what we call those type of
The
letters.
alphabet. I think
Yes,
so.
yes. It's what we refer to as the letter M. And so the letter M has got a sound, if I can put it that way.
Yes.
Am I correct? Like
Yes.
So if they want to portray the sound in hieroglyphs, they will put an owl, See,
Okay.
so this is why they. So if you look at the hieroglyphs, there are a lot of owls, or should I say images of owls. They only represent the letter M, what we refer to as the letter M. It's taken from
Okay.
it's taken from the it's taken from the state that the sound of an owl is
Okay.
you see.
Yeah.
So it's it's a very complex type of writing, but it is in an art form. It's a beautiful artwork, if I can put that way. It's
Yeah.
beautiful, but beauty was not what it was meant for. You see, it was meant, like as you say, it was meant to to
it
send
served a function. Yes.
to
Communicate.
yes, to communicate. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's a beautiful type of art. Yes.
Mm.
So the I think the concept of emojis can also help us maybe to understand hieroglyphs. But there is a big difference between emojis and hieroglyphs, because with emojis they are more of signs, right?
Yeah.
It's more like a sign language, if you can put that way. That if you see an owl, it doesn't represent the letter M. It represents what do you think an image of an owl can represent? Maybe wisdom? I don't know.
I don't know. It depends on what culture you come from. Yes.
It depends with the context. Yes. So hieroglyphs were inscribed in a they were described in many places, like for example in a paper sheet. So Egyptians already had paper sheets. We refer to them as papyrus.
Yes.
Those paper sheets, yes. So it is because they are from a plant called papyrus. So they will process that plant and make a paper sheet. So so when making a book, they will press that they will press those papers, and then they will make a book. So they used stones at that time. You see.
Okay.
So now they will they will write these hieroglyphs in those paper sheets. You see. Sometimes they will also put them in temples. So they will in carved, I can say in carved stones in the temple there. So what they'll do is they will, I can say they will write by carving a stone.
Okay.
Do I
They
make sense?
carved, yes. They carved the writings into stone, into the stone.
Sorry?
They carved the writings into the stone.
Yes, yes. So now if you go to the walls of the temples and it's the temples and tombs. Yes. So there are many these signs and writings that you see on the walls.
Okay.
That is actually yes. That is actually a hierarchy. It's not just
Okay.
signs. It's
It's
someone's text.
hieroglyphs. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So sometimes there also there's something called a stele, if I can put that way. It's called a stele or a stele, if I can put that way. So
Okay.
this was more of a slab. So it was more of a slab block, if I can put that way. It's like it's a slab, this slab, it was made of sometimes it was made of wood, sometimes it was made of stone. You see.
Okay.
So yes. So we'll write those hieroglyphs in those stele. So a stele was more of a, how can I put it? Do you see a billboard when you are going?
Yes.
Maybe on the motorway, yes. So
Yes.
they will put, for example, let's say in the border post, if there is a new immigration law, so they will put a stele there, and then they
Okay.
will put, so they'll put a new law through hieroglyphs.
Okay.
But yes, because they didn't have the Egyptians, they didn't have fences as borders. Do you remember? I said, do you remember when we were speaking of the first cataract and the second cataract?
Yes.
Yes, I said that we're using I can say, like, you see the Nile River, right? By the Nile River, there were places where there were many rocks whereby a ship could not cross. You see, so they used that as a border.
Okay.
So there are places where a ship, yes. So that they use that as a border. You see, to say this is the border. So in other words, there was no one who will come from Africa, like on the south of Africa, going inside Egypt with a ship. Like you cannot sail with a ship because there were stones by the border.
Okay.
So you are going to leave your ship before the border, and then you are going to use an Egyptian ship to continue. You see, after,
Okay.
because now what you are going to do is, when you get there by the border, there are rocks, so you are going to leave the ship, and then you walk by the river bank, and then from there you will see other ships there. Then you take
Okay.
them.
Oh, okay.
So there'll be steles there, you know, telling people the laws. See,
Okay.
yes. But now it was a problem because not everybody could read and write at that time. There were very few people who could read. Yes, there were very few people who could read and write at that time. So they had so if you wanted to know how to read and write, you were supposed to go to I will refer to it as a scribe school, because someone who was able to read and write was called a scribe. You see.
Okay.
So you would go to it was more of a 4-year course just to know how to read and write hieroglyphs. And it was not easy it was hard work because some of the writings, they will start from, how can I put it? Some of the writings, they will start from right going to the left. You see, like today when we are reading text, you start from left going to the right. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's the alphabet that we use, but I think Arabic, they write from left to right.
From left. Okay. So in hieroglyphs, sometimes it's from left to right. At other
Okay.
times it's from right to left.
To
But
left.
it is
Okay.
always from top to bottom. You
Okay.
see. So sometimes sometimes you're going to read something which is not what it is, but I don't know which. So you
Which
must know
direction to take. Okay.
Yes, you must know which direction to take. So they knew. So if you knew how to, if you had gone through that 4-year course or 5-year
Yeah.
course, you are going to know how to read.
Okay.
Yes. So uh another thing that I can say is so to shape rocks, right? Like as I said, that sometimes they'll carve rocks. To shape rocks, to make those images of hieroglyphs, so they used hammer stones. You see, which were made of dolerite. There is a rock called dolerite, and then they also copper saws. So they had saws which were made of copper. Yes, and then they carved stones. So they will carve hard stones and so soft stones. So the soft stones that will carve, they included you see a limestone, sandstone. Yes.
Okay.
I think
Because
there's
there's
also a soft stone. I think there's also a soft stone. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yes. And then on hieroglyphs, sorry, on paper sheets, on papyrus, they used
Yeah.
ink. You see, so they used ink. So they used ink, and so ink. So they made ink by mixing soot with natural gum and beeswax. You see, that's how that was the ink. And then the ink had different colors, just like today we have got colors. So now, in order for an ink to have different colors, so they will take that ink, that processed ink, right? And then they will mix it with a fine powder, which is made of a rock, usually a soft rock, you see, like an ochre. You see a red ochre.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So that is why you see there are different types of
ink.
of yes, ink colors on Egyptian hieroglyphs. Yes. But later, hieroglyphs, they were modified by the cursive. You see, by the cursive writing. You see, so they had the form of a cursive writing called a hieratic. So they were now using hieratic, which was a cursive writing. You see, but I am finding hieroglyphs is better than cursive from my own experience, from what I've because their cursive was something else. Yeah, I am finding the pictures better. Yes,
Okay.
and then later they also modified this cursive writing with. So now they were now mixing this cursive form with hieroglyphs. So they were calling that text demotic. they were using they were calling demotic. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the first category there. Yes. And then and then are we together?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So and then now we are now going to talk about painting. Painting is
Okay.
also part of fine art or folk art. You see, because painting African communities, they used painting to also draw images, if I can put that way. Yes, to also draw images. Yes,
Okay.
it's more like even in the Western culture, right? They use paint to draw images, right?
Okay.
To draw. Yes. So they will draw images and also symbols,
Okay.
yes. And today we are using, so from an archaeological and also written from an archaeological and also written perspective, we are now using some of these paintings to understand their history or their way of life. You see, some of the things that you say maybe Egyptians were doing this, or maybe the Sun people were doing this. It is through what they've drawn for us using their paint.
Okay.
Using their paint. Yes. So back again to Kemet, in Kemet, which is ancient Egypt, right? So paint, you remember I said I said paint was made out of fine powder. Do you remember? So it was
Yes.
fine powder from minerals, or I can say from rocks, if I can put it that way, from minerals.
Yes.
So like I said, that different minerals have got different colors, right?
Colors. Yes.
For example, yes. For example, white. If white, the white paint was from a calcite stone. There's a stone called the calcite stone. You see, so it's more like do you see a white chalk?
Yes.
That our teacher use. Yeah, something like that. And yeah, so
Okay.
just imagine something like that.
Okay.
Yes. So it was more like, so they will grind that into fine powder. Yes. Yeah, calcite. And then black paint, they use carbon. You see, carbon. Yes. And then Egyptians they smelted gold, but they rarely used gold for painting. See,
Okay.
it's not easy for you. It's not easy for you to find something that has been coated with with gold in which is from Kemet. You see,
Okay.
so they respected gold so much because according to their belief system, gold was the flesh of the gods. You see, gold
Okay.
was the flesh of the gods. So that's why they didn't want to coat or to paint with
gold.
with gold. Yes. And they believed that silver were the balls of the gods. But there are many
Okay.
silver things. But with the gold is very rare. So to get a yellow picture, to get a yellow picture, they usually used a yellow ochre. You see, a yellow ochre. So they will make it into fine powder, and then with red they use a red ochre. Yes.
Okay.
And then they used brushes. They used brushes to paint. The brush was more of so now what they will do is they will take grass, right? They will take grass and then they will take then they will they will they will they will take the grass with the string. You see, it's more like do you see this do you see this type of a broom? This
Yes.
especially in Africa where the grass
Is tied to a
yeah, can you do that
yeah.
to a string? Yes, that was the broom that That was the type of a broom that they were using. But they came in different sizes. You see, yes.
Okay.
And then some paintings in Kemet, they are easy to understand. Some of them. Do you remember when we were speaking of do you remember when we were speaking of African games and sports? I say some of games that were being played in Kemet are being shown through the images that they were painting. Do you remember?
Yes.
Yes. So some of these they are easy to understand. That these people, they are trying to say this is a football game. You see, but there are some paintings that are very difficult to understand.
Okay.
Especially the ones which are related to religion. See, they are very, very sometimes to their belief systems, like to their
Okay.
religions, to their
religion, yes.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. Some of them are very complex. See, to a point that I don't believe some of them, even the historians, they understand them. You see, yeah. Because sometimes you will see you will see someone, you will see drawing with it's an image. This image, you will find the drawing is this drawing has got the head of an animal or a bird, body of a human being. Have you ever seen such things?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, something like that. Yes. And I've realized that most of their people, when they're drawing people, they use a brown paint, you see, to draw people. So now there is a belief that maybe they are trying to say that they are trying to portray their race, and which is why we have got many people who are saying that ancient Egyptians were black people. You see, it's hard for you to find a human drawing with a lighter skin. Most of them is more like darker or brown, and it has given many people, they believe that. So there is this debate that what race were people who were staying in Kemet? Those who support that they were black people or dark skinned, they are saying that it is because the paintings of those people are in brown, in the color of brown, you see. Yes. So I don't know how far true is that. and now the how can I say? And now the debate, it becomes even deeper, because some of these images, even if they're not paintings, or maybe let's say even statues, some of them now, they don't have noses, you see, because now the nose was going to help people to say, but that's like a European nose, that looks like an African nose, if I can put it that way. So now most of them, now there's this belief, how far that when Napoleon Bonaparte of France, when they invaded Egypt, they cut the noses. So I don't know whether it was a way of trying to distort to say black people can't do such kind of a civilization.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah. So so in many cases, when they were painting, let's say they paint a wall, like a wall. So what they'll do is they'll first smoothen the wall, and then they'll plaster the wall, mud, and then actually they were even putting
sorry, can you say that again, please? They would splash the walls with mud.
They will plaster, you see, like
plaster with mud.
Yes, with mud.
Okay.
Yes. And then they will apply the paints, you see. And in many cases, they will apply the paint on when when the plastering had been dry. You
Has
see.
dried. Okay.
So they did,
Uh,
right. So they did not paint on a wet
surface.
wall. Yes,
Okay.
yes. So it
Uh,
is believed that yes, yes.
that brings us an end to the end of this session. Thank you very much to Mr. Arnold Mabongenkala. Please join us on the next podcast as we continue talking about paintings in Kemet. Thank you. To Mr. Arnold Mabongenkala, thank you very much. And to you for listening. We appreciate your support. If you enjoyed today's podcast, please don't forget to like, subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Spotify and iTunes and all the other places that you get your podcast from. Thank you.
ezakithi wentaba ezikude zingumasithela zimfihle nawe